in a public meeting, if somebody comes in from an organization supporting your plan and has been paid by you, right, that needs to be clearly stated. Because otherwise, you could load this meeting with a load of people that you've paid to be here and support the plan. That is not public input, and it is not democracy. Okay? So fine, I think you should be able to come up and state that, but I think you should be able to say, you're from Greenbelt Alliance, you're paid by Greenbelt Alliance, and Greenbelt Alliance has received grant money from MTC and ABAC in the past. That's fair, it's honest, and it should be done that way. So it is clear that you have a vested interest in this plan, and MTC and ABAC have a vested interest in paying you. Okay? And that needs to be honestly stated.
Well, I don't think he knows the answer, and I don't actually think we're clear on the answer. So we'll have to get back to you on that.
Do you agree, though, that it is reasonable that anybody who is paid by an organization should state that when they speak at these meetings, and that they will state if their organization has received grant money from MTC or ABAC?
Seems sure. But we,
good.
You know, yeah.
Okay, everybody got that? Sure. Okay.
I'm not. I'm not here. You know, I don't have the definitive answer, but you know,
Well, I think in terms of democracy and honesty, this is the problem with the original plan. Now, in terms of public participation, the initial plan that you presented in 2011, you hired a firm from Vancouver, Canada, who clearly stated in their documentation that they would get support for your initiative. They clearly organized the questions so that it was not possible to answer them to do anything but agree to the plan. And then they attempted to cut off public comment so that those of us who had questions such as, what is the cost per ton of carbon dioxide reduced by this plan? Well, it turns out our plan doesn't reduce any. So, for instance, when a person from Greenbelt Alliance said, we've got a problem with global warming, fair enough. But this plan has nothing to do with that because it doesn't save any carbon dioxide. For those of us who then said, well, what's the most efficient transport per cost per passenger mile, your staff had no idea. Now, you've got to be honest with people and say, look, this plan has a lot of flaws. If you're going to have good public participation, explain the flaws, the good points, the bad points, rather than just saying, we're going to judge. What I think originally happened with this plan is you say, we'll judge if we can get it through the public against the opposition. It's badly flawed, it's incompetent, because it doesn't do what it's supposed to do in the first place. In terms of these tables, 2011, in Contra Costa County, I sat at one of these tables for East Contra Costa County because I've always been interested in their issues. And the MTC person said, great, where do you want your extra housing, right? There were about 10 people there from East Contra Costa County. And they all said, great, yeah, we don't want any more because that's where all the extra housing has gone in the last 20 years. Okay? And the MTC person said, no, but you need to have a share of it. They said, what do you mean our share? We've already put in our share. The traffic's terrible. We don't want any more houses until Highway 4 is widened, we get real BART, and Vasco Road is turned into a freeway, right? And she said, yeah, I know that, but what about putting the houses? And she showed us pictures, nice pictures of these houses and where they should go in the old industrial centers of Antioch, Pittsburgh, etc., right? And the table said, what are you talking about? Don't you get it? No more housing until Vasco Road's made into a freeway, Highway 4 is widened, we get real BART, because the traffic's terrible. And finally, after this went about 5 times, she began to get it. Said, oh, you don't want more housing until you get better communication, better transport. Right, okay, great, good, right? So then she took all these notes about it. So then the plan came out. What did it show? More houses in exactly where it had been on that plan. It was a waste of time. There wasn't any idea that this was going to be taken seriously. If you want good public participation, you actually have to take it seriously. And it's messy, it's difficult, and your plan has got to be changed because it's inadequate. It doesn't do what it's supposed to, right? And you've got to be honest with people. So I want to see if you want public participation, admit the flaws in the plan. Say, how can we fix it? It doesn't save carbon dioxide. We were wrong. Do you admit that? Do you admit that?